and I need someone to talk to. Ooh, she give me some of her soul food. Oh, take it.
Oh,
Welcome.
hello. That was my band's brand new banger. Keep your eyes out. We're gonna be huge. That's my band from like 4 or 5 years ago. But we had this recording from this dude named this studio in Branson, a guy named Dennis. I can't remember his last name now, but we spent money making it, and me and Mason finally were just like, hey, should we put that out? So we dropped it. That was my guitar solo there. Let's go.
It's pretty wicked though.
Thanks, man. I do want to talk about music to begin the show. Well, actually, there's a couple of things I should mention. We have a Facebook page now, and if you comment on the Facebook page, we will be able to see your comments and pop them up on screen. We can't do that with our personal profiles. Maybe next time.
We're not gonna do. I think we should try to strain away from doing it on personal profiles because it's a lot to have to keep up with on our
It really
end.
is.
So if you want your comment talked about or shown, then just check out the Late Night Freedom Stream Facebook page. It just went live today, so I already got 38 followers on it too.
Not bad, right? You need to invite your people. Like it literally let me just invite 1,000 people at a time today. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that.
You just spammed 1,000 people's notification on Facebook.
Yeah, I did. Huh. Well, but I do want to talk about music because, first of all, Universal Music Group can suck my wiener. They copyright struck us on our last episode because anytime I decide to like randomly talk about something and have Leighton pull up video as reference, it seems to get us in trouble. Like with the Sam Hyde fight, it happened, and I won that copyright strike because it's fair use. And then with this second one with Universal Music Group, I didn't even try to fight it. I was like in the middle of doing something and just hit accept. And so now I have like a strike on my account. So I don't know if my Facebook's being throttled because of that. I know we've been getting a lot less viewership on my Facebook account than we used to. I think partly because I got restrictions from getting in that like Kevin Johan beef on Facebook and arguing with that troll. He said some threatening stuff. So I said some threatening stuff back. So I got a strike for that. And which is against their terms of policy, I suppose. So I tried to appeal it because that was a fake profile. I mean, like I feel like if a real person looked at what happened there, they'd be like, oh, that's you shouldn't have a copyright strike. But I doubt that a real person ever laid eyes on
the Facebook moderators. They aren't actual people.
They're robots.
They're lizard people.
And relating to the topic of music, I like just music and art. I was thinking about this earlier, and I wrote this down because I knew I wanted to talk about it on stream, and I just needed something to remind me. So I wrote this. I said, music and art are some of the most effective tools for propaganda. That being said, there is no appropriate way to create laws limiting the expression of it. Like, obviously, music can't violate laws that are already on the books, but or art, dance, theater, but they're just the most effective means of propaganda because there's like a femininity about art and like openness and like being left-brained. And I think that it's just like there's like a level of acceptance for everything. And, I'm a spiritual person, so I believe that oh, Alec, what's up, bro? It's good to see you. If you want to come on stream tonight, you can. But the deceiver, the devil, so to speak, uses any tool he can to corrupt the youth and to corrupt the hearts of men and to deceive us. So I think that you find a lot of evil messaging in art because it's allowed to find a home there. Even though that's the case, it has to be allowed. But I've been reflecting on this stuff a lot because I got kind of ostracized from the music scene for expressing some conservative beliefs, and there's a lot of good people that I used to play music with, and I think when you dedicate your life to playing music and being like the starving artist, you open yourself up to be possessed by ideas, and which can be a really positive thing and a really negative thing, So I see so many people that pursue art as a professional hobby becoming mentally ill, and I admire good artists so much, and the facility and the technical capability it takes to play an instrument or to do a particular dance, or to be a good actor, but it's because it does take skill and it is a practice that is difficult. But at the same time, it's like this ethereal pursuit of creating, it's almost like one of the closest ways that you could try to imitate God is like being a creator of like brand new things, right? And it's like it's so important, and it's so dangerous, like the arts are so fascinating and exciting to me for that reason. Yeah, Alec, so we're going to talk about Israel and Palestine. I would be curious about your opinion. I'll state my opinion here in a little bit. I went and trolled I saw some Palestine protesters with signs picketing and stuff near downtown on my way to the gym in an Uber. So I whipped my phone out and went back there and made a video. I'm going to premiere that on here in just a minute.
Dude, this is going to be funny, dude. I haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah, I can't wait to get your reaction, Leighton. Here, let's go ahead and do that.
We've both done our little bit of trolling with these guys, and it's pretty funny. Like, you get a lot of really good content out of people like that.
Really do. I'm sharing my screen now. This might be kind of, bear with me for a second, guys. Alec, if you have time, we'll get you on right after we go through this video. Come on. I'm sorry, folks. Let me see if I can get this to work here. It'll be worth your time. Here we go. We're getting there. Okay, can you see my video?
I can see it.
So I apologize for the vertical camera. I just got an iPhone recently, and so I kind of forgot how to use it. I'm like an old man, but here you go.
At least you're not using your iPad to film this.
It's not much better.
Oh wait, yeah, these are the guys I saw on Facebook. Were they holding the big sign?
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Check this. Leighton, you're gonna love this, bro. This is crazy. So, can you hear the audio?
No.
Damn it. Okay. So
you have to do your Chrome thing.
It's not giving me. Oh yeah. Okay. Here.
Or you have to click allow audio to be shared with your computer.
Where is that? Where is? Oh, I'm so sorry, people. It's gonna be worth it. I just finished editing this a minute before we went live. That's why we're kind of late tonight.
I can actually show you the Facebook post that I saw of that.
Yeah, pull that up, please, while I figure this out.
Yeah, PSL posted it. Them protesting. I don't know if this is the exact same one, but it looks like it's the same one. Yeah, here we go. Right here. Another successful banner drop. We're over 5 months in this genocide, but we cannot allow ourselves to tire or lose heart. We're in this for the long haul. We're in this for a free Palestine from the river to the sea.
Dang, they made a post. That's awesome. Nice. Okay, so hopefully you can hear the audio now. Let me get it pulled back up. And I know we're losing viewers right now because I'm screwing around.
Oh, we're not. We still have the same viewers.
Can you hear it?
No. You should just send it to me, and then
I will. Alec, you should get on your computer. We'll get you on. We can get your live reaction of this too. Let me see. Where should I send it to you, Leighton?
It's really short, so you can just send it to me on Discord and I can play it off of that.
Hopefully it'll let me. Discord keeps trying to get me to get like a premium.
Yeah, they keep doing that too.
I need to unshare my screen. I'm messing this stream up bad, bro. I'm sorry. I thought this would be easy to make happen.
You're good. Let's have a distraction for the audience real quick.
The problem is the little window that I'm using is like if it was like if it was on YouTube or something, I'd be able to share the audio. But since I'm doing it off of my my main browser, it's not really doing the thing. Here, just sign in. We'll talk about some other stuff. I'll try to download this in the background on YouTube and see if it doesn't just crash the stream.
But oh, I saw this on Twitter today too.
Hey, will you send Alec the link?
Yeah, I'll send it out to him real quick.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Nice. That's a good one.
All right, let me get it out to him real quick. I'll check your inbox for sending you the link real quick.
Upload.
Yeah, we're just having some technical difficulties right now, guys.
Yeah, your host is a little stupid. So, did you see that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are going to fight?
Yeah, I saw that. Dude, that is going to be so funny to watch.
So, I'm afraid that it's not going to be a real fight because I think lots of so Nate Diaz, when he fought Jake Paul, it looked kind of staged to me. Like Nate Diaz took a fall. Of course, I don't know for certain, but it looked that way. So I just hope that it's an actual fight. And I think Mike Tyson still has the advantage. Of course, age matters. But, dude, it's Mike Tyson. Come on.
I don't know. It's like Jake Paul is kind of like an asshole. I fucking hate both of the Paul brothers.
I think he's probably a pretty good boxer, too. And he's strong and he's capable and he's fit.
I mean, it's good that they're going that direction instead of where they were going. Like I remember back in like 2017, they were doing like vlog videos and like tasing rats and filming dead bodies and like suicide forests and shit.
Oh, the Japanese suicide forest, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like either of the Paul brothers though. I think they're both scam artists, but. You can kind of tell if Logan Paul's podcast too. Like, I don't know what it's called, but I know he has a impulsive.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just both like narcissistic freaks, and
Guys, I think we said this earlier, but if you're watching on one of our personal profiles, if you want to leave a comment and us be able to pop the comment up, go to the official Late Night Freedom stream Facebook page. It'll allow us to pull your comments up there.
Man, I wish we had Mark tonight. Where's he at?
I don't know. He hates us. No, I don't know. He's pretty busy, and he's got a wife and stuff. He's got a few more commitments than you and I do, I guess. If I'm going to be generous with him, probably.
Did you see Haiti? The news in Haiti,
dude. Barbecue, yeah.
Like a Far Cry game, honestly.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Far Cry 6 looks pretty gruesome.
Insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like what is it? It's a cannibal like tribe has taken control of Haiti or something like that.
Yeah.
And the leader's name is Barbecue. It sounds like a Far Cry, like a Far Cry game, honestly.
It really does. And, we get Haitian immigrants. That'll be cool. Probably get a bunch more of them now.
Yeah, we'll get some pretty interesting looking people.
And I guess I was listening to Matt Walsh's program, and he mentioned that since barbecue has taken over Haiti, they just like released everybody from prison. So it's just
it's fucking crazy.
it's
dude.
just the purge over there right now. Just literal burning bodies in the streets.
I remember when Conan O'Brien went to Haiti.
For real?
Yeah, he actually did. Don't you remember that? He had like a travel series, and I was reminded of a clip of where he went there because Trump said it was a shithole or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a bunch of people tried to make Haiti look good after that.
And I saw Jet Neptune on Twitter post about it, and he said they ate so hard here.
Dude.
And, it's him giving a Haiti guy a Trump hat.
This is the famous hat. Do you know this? Make America Great Again that Trump wears? Yeah, okay. You don't seem thrilled by this hat, no? We made this hat for you. Yeah.
Damn.
This is aged like milk.
Dude, curdled. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable, bro. That's crazy. I was trying to get my friend Evan on tonight. He's like a leftist. He's like a gay leftist pro-Palestine guy. And I don't know. I think that'd be pretty interesting. He probably won't come on tonight, though. You know how this goes.
Speaking of which, an update on the drag queen. We were not able to get them tonight. They dropped out. Big.
Oh wait, here's the drag queen right here.
Holy shit, he's got a setup.
Dude. Okay, so I'm the one with the podcast, and you're the one with the sick studio. What is that? That's not.
Oh, dude, you wanna see the freaking rig, dude?
Oh,
dude,
I can do cool rig shit too.
I'd show you guys my rig, but it's a refurbished MacBook off of eBay.
The problem is I don't have my freaking camera stand anymore, so it's just up on one of my monitor mounts.
So, Leighton, will you pull up the Audio and Motion YouTube channel? Let's give Alec kind of a proper introduction here. So, Alec is we've known each other a long time. We're both alumni of Willard High School.
Gang, dude.
Yeah. Oh, get out of here, bro. You're so much more ready to have a podcast than I am. Unbelievable.
Oh, that's funny.
Unbelievable.
That's funny, dude.
I'm so mad at you right now. What the fuck?
Oh, that's funny, dude.
Yeah, we got his little YouTube
Oh,
channel
so
here.
Alec has one. He did what was a Ray Charles cover? Will you
Yeah,
pull that one
That was
up?
a minute ago.
Yeah, I think I got uploaded like 4 months ago. I thought it was pretty good though. He's very talented.
I hadn't played my guitar in probably like 7 months. And then they were like, you got to do this solo. And I botched it so hard, dude.
Oh. I thought it was all right, man.
It wasn't terrible, but like we've jammed a lot together, the two of us. And that was not my best work, bro.
I don't see this Ray Charles one anywhere, but
What? It should be right at the top there. It's from like 4 months ago.
Here, let me see what I got.
what's the song called?
Here. I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Send it in the private chat here if you or actually you probably can't see that. Can you see the private chat, Alec?
I don't know.
It's a little bar on the StreamYard that you can click and
I can see chat with everyone in the studio. Is that right?
yeah.
Hey yo, Clayton's in the chat.
There we go. Sent it in.
What's up, Clayton? He was on last episode.
What's up, buddy?
That's my current bandmate. We're getting something going right now, and I'm fucking super excited about it, man.
Heck yeah, dude. That's what I like to hear. I'm so busy anymore with my business and having another kiddo and all that fun jazz.
Congratulations! I didn't know you were
Thanks,
having
dude.
another kid.
Yeah, we just had her. She's 2 weeks old, dude. 2 weeks.
Let's
She'll be 3 weeks
go!
tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome, dude. Thank you.
How many is that now?
That's two. That's two.
Let's go.
I'm shooting for 6. I don't think I'll shoot for 6, but we'll see how,
How
it
old?
goes.
How old is your wife?
My wife she just turned 24.
Oh, you got time, bro. You can
Oh,
get
yeah.
12.
My goal, I think we'll probably end up stopping at 4, but I'd like to have 6 for sure.
That's a goal, dude. That's a real life goal right there.
Yeah,
That's the dream, dude.
American dream. But you were showing off your cool, crazy sounds earlier, and we also have cool, crazy sounds.
Oh yeah, no That's terrible. That's awful. Dog. Don't do
That's
that.
so much sound, bro. I'm maxing out the volume of my headphones, bro.
Here, can we hear a little bit of his video? I want people to hear Alex singing. He's a very good singer.
Somehow your story don't ring true, honey. I've got news for you.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh yeah, you love to hear it.
It's classic. Classic, bro. I love the blues.
Oh yeah, you can't beat him, dude. Can't beat him.
Speaking of music, that reminds me, I did want to talk about this on this episode. And you can tell me what you think of this, Alex. So I met this cat when I was in KC. You know, I've loved playing music on the street for a while. And me and Connor Jones and Ben Collins took a trip out to KC, and me and Connor hit the street and we were busking in front of the what is it, like the fudge factory or something. It's like a very but anyways, we accidentally stole this saxophone player's spot, and he showed up and he's like, "Who are you guys? What are you doing?" I'm like, "We're busking." He's like, "I know, I busk here every day. You're in my spot." And he jammed with us a little bit. His name is Dane Justice, and he gave me some advice about busking. And he was like, you know, there's lots. He's like, you need to make a sign. You need to work on like your like performance, like your moves, more than just like your technical playing. And he said, having a charity that you donate to. So I was thinking, since I'm going like full bore, like with my beliefs and just like being really open about who I am in public about it, I was thinking about using music. I was talking about how music is like the most effective propaganda earlier, but like when I'm busking,
big time.
You right? And when I'm busking, having like a sign that says like 25% of this will go to like the Back on Track PAC, and then 25% of my earnings when I'm busking could go to like a conservative cause that I like. I've been playing with that idea, and the more I think about it,
yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge blessing. I know that like with my business, I give a lot to a lot of different Christian organizations, and like homeschool advocacies and stuff like that.
Nice.
So there's a lot of things that I think, and I also think that it doesn't have to. The best, in my opinion, the best giving is giving that's not talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
For only the purpose of doing, you know what I mean? So I think that would be a cool thing to be able to like let people know, like, hey, if you give to me, I'm giving to this. So like, you know what you're supporting and what I support. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
right.
Another form of giving your beliefs to people without having to go into a full in-depth conversation.
And I just feel like people, like musicians, are like, because of the culture and the world that we live in and like the gatekeepers of the scene, it's okay to openly be a leftist and have extreme left positions and to have fundraisers for leftist causes, and nobody bats an eye. But I don't see anybody doing it for conservative stuff.
Yeah, you don't see it super often, and I think a lot of times, even more so, it's more of just like, it's okay to be openly giving to a cause that's not biblically based more than anything.
Yes,
you know?
amen.
I think even outside of a conservative standpoint, you can take it further than that and say, as long as things are basically anti-Christianity, anti-Christ, like support, like you're good. But the second you bring Jesus up, it's like, hey, whoa. Do you hate minorities? You know, like people just start like losing their minds.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, for real. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. It's man, tell us more about your business. Did you open your own barber shop, or I'm out of the loop on that?
So no, my buddy Gavin Bolin, awesome guy, Christian dude, just a genuinely one of the best people I've ever met. He opened up a barber shop. Everybody that's in that shop has been friends for kind of long time, 10 years, I think. And so I rent a chair in there and open up my own LLC. I run it all of that stuff under my name. It's under Inglet Styles. But the cool thing about it, like one of the biggest draws to it for me was, he was like, everybody's so busy trying to reinvent the wheel and make a barbershop, all kinds of different things, and I have all these gimmicks. He's like, I just want to build a place to build strong men and a strong community. And that's what the barbershop's been for. I mean, that's kind of the whole thing about it is you have a community of dudes and you gather at the barbershop, and that's the thing. So like we do a Bible study on Friday mornings with a few dudes. We like, it's just really cool because you're able to, basically you don't have this whole cultivation that you get in a lot of
do
businesses
you have
in general.
employment or do you just cosplay as a
shit,
socialist?
1 sec. Well, spoilers, my bad.
You have this like cultivation that you don't get in a lot of cultures at a lot of businesses where it's like we have open discussion, open dialogue, politics, religion, whatever you want to talk about. As long as you're cool with having a conversation and not start insulting each other, we can keep talking about it. You know what I mean? But you get into a lot of businesses and they're like, we want to avoid those conversations altogether because of the possibility of confrontation. And I think what's his name? It's not Tucker Carlson. It's the other dude that goes to college campuses. Not Steven Crowder, but he was just at MSU like 6 months ago.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk. He says it all the time. He says when people stop talking, that's when violence occurs. Jordan Peterson says that. Tucker Carlson says that. He says it. Andrew Tate talks about it. You know, like when people stop talking, that's when you open up to violence, whether it's physical violence or like hurtful speech, you know, like when you want to get into that stuff. But like when you stop being willing to have a dialogue, whether your views are going to change or not, you run into problems where you get things like the Civil War, where it's like, I don't care about where your views are. The fact that you differ from me, I hate you. And that's such a dangerous place to be in. And it's kind of where we've gotten to, you know.
Bro, I kind of need a trim. That sounds dope. Like,
dude, pull up, bro.
Let's go. Okay, so I got this video pulled up. I'm really excited to show you to you guys and to everybody. This is the world premiere. So if people weren't in here earlier, I was on my way to the gym and I saw these protesters and I was like, let's go. So here's the
yeah, Jacob's stealing it.
Yeah, I stole Layton's bit, but you stole my bit first, so it's all good.
Bunch of socialist dorks hanging out here on the bridge. Let's see what's up.
So this one guy on the right here, you'll see he's actually really cool. I think that I converted him. You'll see what I mean.
Hello, we cosplaying as communists or what are we doing? Free Palestine? It's pretty cool. You have a job? Yeah? Where you work?
I bleeped that out because, you know, that's
surprisingly respectable.
Right?
Yeah. What is your
It was like a good normal blue collar job though. I was surprised. And I think he may have so there was 4 men here, and I think that he is like the strong man. He was like the most normal man that was there.
Yeah.
And the rest of them were like young women. 2 of the organizers are like tranny older guys, which is weird. And you'll see them. I'll point them out. But this was the one individual that actually engaged with me and was kind of like a real person in a way.
Why are you pro-Palestine?
I don't know. The government, my taxes go to it. I'm not really happy about that.
Me neither. I don't think we should be sending taxes to Israel or Palestine, quite honestly.
Well, that's your opinion, I guess.
What is your opinion?
Excuse me, do you mind me asking what you're doing out here?
I'm just seeing what you guys are doing out here.
Okay, why are you recording?
So,
dude, check out this chick's face in the background here in a second. This is so
Dude,
funny.
you have
the Soylent, dude. Holy.
Yeah, this guy's the pointy part of the spear. He's like,
you
got to get out of here, man.
You can't record in public. Why are you recording me?
Yeah.
employment or do you just cosplay as a socialist in your free time? Do you just cosplay as a socialist or do you have a job?
I'm not going to answer questions. You're not coming here in good faith.
That means you don't have a job.
No.
That means you don't have a job.
What is your, so you think the federal government should send more money to Palestine, or what is the?
I think you're not here in good faith, and I think you need to leave.
I think this is a public walkway.
It is a public walkway, but I'm not going to answer any of your questions.
And you won't state your position?
No. No.
Why not?
Because I don't trust you. So I would like
So
for you to leave.
you want all of Springfield to know that you're pro-Palestine.
Yes.
But when given the opportunity to explain why you're pro-Palestine,
From someone who has not identified who they are.
I'm Jacob Ferguson. I have
Okay.
a live stream called Late Night Freedom Stream
Okay.
on YouTube
Let
and
me
Facebook
guess, some
and
sort of
stuff.
libertarian shit?
It's conservative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Libertarians are lame.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Well, I can at least agree on that. But
Had a code switch there.
You really don't want to state your position? Like, what is the solution
no,
here?
I'm not going to state your position for a conservative live stream. Like, no.
Why
I'm not
not?
gonna talk to you.
Your argument must suck if
No,
you can't.
no,
if
I'm
you
not.
can't.
We're ready to wrap up.
Yeah, we're going to leave anyways, so.
You guys are done, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wrapped up at 7.
Yeah,
So.
that's fair. Does anybody want to explain their position? You know, why we're supporting Palestine? Is it more federal money for Palestine, or should we like not be involved at all, or what is the solution here, folks? What are we protesting? Why do you want public attention if you can't state your position?
Jacob, you should have you should have grabbed you should have called out to all of them and been like, okay guys, let's grab our lighters and I want everyone to just set themselves on fire.
You know, the wild thing is you're given the opportunity to potentially change people's mind, and you won't. That's the part that's crazy to me.
I'm platforming them.
Well, yeah, exactly. Regardless, these are the people they should want to talk to. You know, why do you want to talk to more liberal people, leftist people, people who have left-leaning viewpoints that agree with you? Why would you not want to try and change the minds and ideas of the people that disagree with you?
And I don't get it either. It's you're giving these people a platform to talk and speak, and it's the same with the late night freedom stream. We're giving people a platform to speak their mind on. You're never going to get an opportunity like that in your life.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly, guys, I think they can't defend their positions if you don't feel ashamed of yours. If they can't guilt trip you into being oh, you're not allowed to say that, or that's racist or sexist or insert phobic thing. You know, if they don't have any of that leverage, they can't really defend their positions because their positions are indefensible. What are they advocating for? Pro Muslim terrorist, no borders, gender doesn't exist. It's your guys' positions are undefendable. I don't blame you for not wanting to have to defend them, but they're your positions, so that's your job. You know.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think a lot of it, and I think this happens a lot on both sides, but it happens significantly more with left-leaning ideologies, is that it's a lot of emotional manipulation and less factual basis. Because if you look at Palestine and Israel, whether you as a Christian, I'm for supporting Israel, but
I differ from a lot of Christians there.
It gets into a lot of different territory, and
I would like to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, but I think that the way that I look at it is essentially we're talking about thousands of years that this territory has been fought over, and people want to just look at in the early 1946 was when that was signed. The
right after
borders,
World War
right?
II.
Yeah, so we want to look at that, but we don't want to look at how Palestine wasn't even a nation until 1,000 years ago, when the Roman Empire invaded Israel, overtook it, and decided to name the bottom half of Israel Palestine. And people don't want to have that conversation. They don't want to look at the history of it. And it's a religious war. We're talking about a religious war. We're talking about a moral war between two parties that believe differing things. And whether you agree with either one of them, it's not a political thing. That's the crazy part to me, is that none of this should be politicized. It's a religious warfare that's between two parties that we have nothing to do with.
And that's why it's so insane to see leftists support Hamas, because most of them are flaming homosexuals who Hamas would have dead in moments.
Yeah, they'd be stoned in the street, which is crazy. Women
would be genitally mutilated. It's just
it's
and the only reason they support them is they see Palestine as the Native Americans and Israel as the colonizing Americans. That's
it. We actually saw that in one of my videos. They were comparing this issue to colonialism and shit, and it's
But they also don't want to talk about how in the nation of Israel, there's Muslims on the board of council and there's Muslims that are in significant portions of the government.
Yes.
Because Israel's pretty cool with Muslims. Like as a nation, it's pretty like there's Christians there, there's Buddhists, there's Muslims, there's Jews. Like that, you can. It's pretty diverse, honestly,
I have
and
seen
people
some
just
stuff
don't want,
recently about
don't want to
them
talk
kinda
about
like
that.
cracking down on Christians. I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff.
So it just kind of depends. If you're talking about the Jews in and of themselves as like a race and not as a religion, they're cool. Like they really don't mind Christians. But when you get into traditional Judaism and even what's the word I'm looking for? I'll just stick with that. If you look at traditional Judaism as a religion, they hate Christians. They hate us. They think that we're blasphemers. They think that we are making a huge mistake, essentially calling Christ the Messiah. But the Bible talks about that in Revelation as well. Is a lot of Jews are going to accept the Antichrist when he comes in as the Messiah, and then there's going to be the select that realize that he's not the Messiah right before the rapture happens. And but that also gets into, are you pre-trib rapture, are you post-trib rapture? Like, where do you sit on this? You know
I think we can stay away from eschatology, but I think that that is the typology of Paul, is the Jewish people in the last days. I don't know if you've kind of gotten into that at all, but I've kind of, me and some of my coworkers have been talking about this recently.
I know a decent amount of information about pretty much all of it. I wouldn't consider myself an expert or super well-versed in specific subject matters, if that makes sense.
Likewise, yeah. I know a little bit of like a bunch of stuff, but like I haven't done like a deep dive. Like I haven't actually read several books about Israel and Palestine, and I just honestly, and that's why I don't support either of them at this point. I'm like, I don't care. America is falling apart. Let's just fix this, you know.
Well, and that's the other thing. I'm sure you've heard it on a lot of different TikTok clips or whatever, YouTube shorts, whatever. But like, if we took the 168 billion that we had given to Ukraine, we could have fixed homelessness 8 times over in the United States. We could have given each homeless veteran $2 million. We could have fixed Flint, Michigan's water supply 200 times over. Like,
we could have finished building Trump's wall.
Well, it's like it's so wild because regardless of whether you're left or right, if those things are being fixed by, and say it is Biden, Biden, instead of sending all that money over there, was like, no, I want to fix the homeless problem in the United States. Whether you're left or right, you're going to be like, this is probably a good thing that this is getting situated.
I would prefer my money to go to people who live in my country.
Exactly. And that's I think that's at the premise of a lot of conservative views, and it's like, fix the issues that we have here. Our economy's falling apart. The housing market's terrible. There's more homeless people than there ever was before. We have laws that are protecting theft under a certain amount of money. It's like, these things are wild that we're just allowing, but the second somebody else needs help that's 22,000 miles away, we're like,
there you go.
How much more of my money can I give you? But then, man. The thing is, none of this stuff happened prior to 1913. We were a tax-free nation. Before 1913, you had to buy war bonds if you wanted to go into war. If you wanted to support these countries, you had to individually make the choice to purchase these. But in 1913, the Fed was created, the IRS was created, and these things basically ushered us into a nation of, we don't have the choice, and only the elected officials can make those decisions, which isn't how it used to be. That's why you used to have a congressional vote to declare war and go into these places, which you still technically do, but then you have superseding powers that are able to send troops places and do these things for a certain amount of time and extend those periods of time, regardless of declaring war on a nation or not.
Bro, go off.
That reminds me of this. What is it? The Sam Hyde meme.
Everything reminds you of a Sam Hyde meme.
He's just so usable in every conceivable moment.
Hellfire missiles, because they're so weak and unprotected. They need more and more missiles. They need more missiles in Israel. They need as many missiles as we can get. In the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt give Israel missiles."
Stop.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Well, dude, it's funny too because people are criminalizing Israel for their response, and yeah, maybe the response is a little harsh, but at the same time, the response is against people who their only goal is to eliminate Jewish people, and it's not so that way they can live on certain lands or anything.
Man.
You know what I mean?
It really
we
is.
Want to get into the fact that these people are building bases under schools, under mosques, all these things. And so, yeah, they're blowing up schools and hospitals and mosques, but they're giving adequate timing to get civilians out, and they're refusing. Hamas is refusing to allow these civilians out, and that is well reported on. And then they're blowing up these places, and people are like, look at all these civilians they killed. It's like, well, did you look at anything that happened prior to it? Did you look at the context of the situation whatsoever? Mm-hmm. Which is a crazy thing that you even have to say that you even have to say, like, look at all these innocent people they killed, and I have to be like, well, wait, was there a good reason? Like, I shouldn't have to say those things, but we're in a point where we're supporting half the nation supporting one side and half the nation supporting the other. Those conversations are going to need to be had.
Yes, and context does matter, and warfare is well. That's my whole thing. Is like, okay, so you give me your opinion on this, Alec. Geez, sorry, I just had a stroke. But you know, because so when I argue with my boss about this topic, he thinks that America must support Israel because of the Book of Revelations. You know, and there's certain prophecies that certain Christians are looking at in the Book of Revelations, like the temple being built, like these Brahmin, these three Brahmin, red Brahmin or whatever. And, I reject that personally, where I don't know. God's sovereign without us, you know, like Sam Hyde said, sending more missiles to Israel. Like, I get that there's a pragmatism that man has to exercise, but dude, yeah, but like, they have the most sophisticated border wall in the world, like the Iron Dome. Like, how did they not detect some dudes like with like little scooters and parachutes floating in?
Well, and that's where you get some conspiracies going on. They knew about this attack prior and they let it happen anyway and XYZ. But when I'm going to go back a little bit to the topic of where you're talking about I don't think America should support Israel, and that's where you differ with a lot of Christians. The Bible talks about it multiple times. Paul writes about it how as Christians, if we bless the Jews, the Lord will bless you. And it says that multiple times in multiple different phrasings throughout the Bible. When you get into the America supporting their warfare, that's another topic of discussion. When I say like I'm for us supporting Israel in that aspect and sending money to them, it's like if I'm not gonna agree with the protection of the Jews, I feel like based on my personal convictions that I'm not supporting the Jews in the way that I should and as the Lord intended. Whether that's the right way to do it or not, I don't know. But my convictions say support Israel and support the killing of the Jews. Or support like the killing of the Jews. Support the saving of the Jews. Support like the defense of the killing of the Jews. You know what I mean? So
Clayton says, Alec, your knowledge on these topics are great. Super stoked to hear more. Also, good job on putting together a community where men can go to build relationships with other men and God. Big thumbs up.
Thanks, dude. I gotta attribute a lot of the community to Gavin. That's not me. He's built a great place for us to be able to do that. You know, I just work there.
Yeah, but you own your chair and stuff. I forget that that's like an aspect of like the cutting hair as a job. Like you can rent the space, and it's like your taxes probably show you as kind of your own employer.
Yeah, so my taxes are ran as my LLC. And basically what happens is I have a 1099 that I submit to the owner. So I'd submit it to Gavin showing the amount of rent that I paid for that. And then I use that as a tax write-off.
That's badass.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff with it. But that's generally my viewpoint on the topic as far as like supporting America, specifically supporting Israel. But we've been supporting Israel for a really long time through a lot of stuff. It basically, the way that like in layman's terms, is like if someone's trying to commit genocide on the Jewish people, as a Christian, I have an obligation to support the Jewish people if I want to do what the Lord's commanded me to do. Now, how that factors in all the. I mean, the Bible's not specific on that. Like he said, the Bible says give more missiles. You know what I mean? Like obviously the Bible was written at a different time, so it's like they're not going to be like, yeah,
Missiles
definitely.
weren't a thing, yeah.
Exactly. They're not going to be like it. It's not going to say specifically you have to arm Israel with nuclear weapons in order to protect them. Like that's not going to.
Right.
It's not specified on that. So I think it's a hard subject matter to really like be definitive on. Is that the correct way of supporting them? That I don't know. I couldn't answer that to you. But I can tell you that I think as a Christian, I feel convicted about making sure that I'm showing my support for Israel. And if that's the way that it's being given, then that's the way that it's being given.
Wow.
I actually found a better video of that.
Here, before we get funny here, I do want to say I really appreciate you, Alex, sharing your perspective on this. And it is a very nuanced
It's very enlightening.
topic. And your explanation is so good and very compelling. And it really makes me think about like, it makes me consider how often the left does this, where they'll take what the thing they're advocating for is doing and try to spin it around. So like Hamas is literally waging an ethnic war on Israel. But
it's an ethnic cleansing, and they're saying that the Jews are trying to do an ethnic cleansing of.
Yes,
it's the opposite. Yeah, they're saying the Jews are trying to do that, but no one wants to also talk about how Libya, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, none of these places are accepting the refugees. They're just letting their fellow Muslims die. And so they don't want to talk about that. They want other countries. They want England. They want Ireland. They want the United States. They want all these different countries that aren't Muslim countries. Like, well, let me rephrase that. There's obviously Muslims in these, but they're not like Muslim-ran countries. They want these countries to take in their people. And it can err on the side of like, segregation a little bit when you get into this conversation when you're talking their people, my people, you know what I mean?
In-groups and out-groups are a thing. People prefer to be around people like them.
It's a thing. There's positives and negatives to that, and we can have that discussion. But when the countries that are directly within 100 miles of this place that's being, because Gaza's being tore apart, whether you agree with it or not, that is factually what's happening. So if that's what's happening and you're mad that they're killing your civilians and they're killing your men and women and children, whatever, in these bombings, don't do what you're doing. Don't build bases for Hamas under mosques, under hospitals, under schools, under daycares. Don't do those things and accept your civilians to come to you. But they don't want to do it because of the same reason that most conservatives don't want to do it, because of the risk of potential violence on their soil. That's the problem. And so if they don't want to risk it, why should we want to risk it? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I could not agree more. And that's such a good and important point to make. And you made it so well, dude. I'm loving you on this show right now. I appreciate you coming on, dog.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
My honest opinion on the whole Israel and Palestine thing, though, is that I genuinely do not care. Like I understand that the reason for being passionate about it, but I don't think that people what I'm seeing a lot is people forcing other people to care about the situation. Like a lot of people just don't live lives where they want to be an activist. Not everybody wants to fucking boycott McDonald's or boycott.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest. A lot of that is. Yeah, a lot of that's a popularity contest. You want to be a part of something bigger than yourself. Like this is most of society. They want to be a part of something that's quote unquote bigger than themselves because they probably have something in their lives that they feel empty about. What I would argue is that emptiness is a lack of a relationship with Jesus. But Amen. Some people don't argue with that. I think that there's no other explanation. But they're trying to fill that void by becoming a part of a community. And that's why the Bible's so clear about going to church on a regular basis and being in a body of Christians and worshiping the Lord together, because there is something to be said about, whether you want to call it energy or whatever, there's something to be said about a group of people that believe the same things and join together, and the amount of power that has. And that's why churches start to get so big and all these things, is because I don't know if you guys have ever been to a men's conference or anything, but when you're in a room of 2,000 dudes and they're all praising the Lord, there is something magical about that. That's heavenly, and
I never have.
You can't put words to it. It's cool, dude. It's cool. Even just being in a body of believers like that. There's something about being worshiping Jesus together that feels better than worshiping by yourself. You know what I mean? You're around people that love the Lord, or that you assume love the Lord, because I mean, you don't know anybody's heart, but you're around that, and it gives you an encouragement to do that more of yourself. And I think that's why the Bible's pretty clear about those things. But to your point, man, like, a lot of people don't care. A lot of people don't want to deal with that. A lot of people don't want to be around an echo chamber of ideologies that they just don't like. They're like, oh, but I need to be saying something because that's what's happening. So I need to have some opinion on it. That's that emotional manipulation getting in there of like, oh, you don't even care that these people are dying? You don't even care that babies are getting set on fire? You don't even care that women are getting raped in the street? You don't care that this music festival where they're just hanging out having a good time got shot up by a bunch of people and grenades flown everywhere and they stole women and raped them in cars and videotaped it and laughed about it? Like, you don't care about that stuff, and they make you feel like a bad person. So then you're like, and you set your opinion based on whatever that person says because you don't want to feel ostracized. And it's an emotional manipulation.
I think it's more of a kind of like a popularity contest kind of thing, to where it's more to stroke the person's ego. Like, oh, I'm such a good person. I don't eat at McDonald's because McDonald's uses their money to send Hellfire missiles to Israel. Like, it's not. From what I've seen, it's more of like just to stroke the person's ego. Like, that's
a
well, yeah, I'm talking definitely more at the baseline. Like, if you came up to me and you were like, hey, how do you feel about Palestine? Free Palestine, baby. And I was like, I don't care about this subject matter. And then you hit me with that emotional manipulation of feeling that way. And then in order to not feel ostracized by you and to feel accepted by you, I'm going to agree with you. And that's going to be my stance. And I'm going to take it that way because I'm going to assume that most people are going to accept me now because I agree with that stance. So 100%, yeah, it boils down to a popularity contest of wanting to feel good and wanting to feel like people accept you because of whatever belief you throw out, whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah, it's like being like a vegan or something like that. It's just
dude.
Just to stroke your ego and be all like, oh, well, I'm better than you.
I don't know, man. Like,
animals.
That's the obnoxious things about like people who postulate virtue. You know what I mean? Who try to project piety. It's like the Pharisees. But I think there are bad faith actors on all sides.
Yeah,
but
100%.
The world is so full of deception, and like Satan has been watching mankind for such a long time. I think he's really just good at using people's affections in the unintended ways of just confusing people. Like, you'll see in this video, we'll get back to it. I'll pull it back up actually, where this one guy who engages with not that fucking
wrong
guy.
Video.
This one guy who engages with me, to me, it seems like a guy who fell for the myth that socialism actually is for the working man, joined the party, the PSL, saw this kind of thing like, oh, the PSL as a group is going to do this. So went and held a sign. I think he's more there like trying to be involved in some kind of political activism, as am I, but maybe his heart's in the right place, but you can tell that he's had a weird day and that like, he's kind of enjoying talking to somebody who actually has like a position, because I think there are like, and another thing about this video and like the people who do this for fashion, if you show up and start asking questions, they will go away. And that's what happens in this video. Like, they pack up and they leave as soon as I start asking them to state their position.
Yeah, because they know it's about to not look good for them anymore.
Right. Here we go.
Non-interference and stuff that's not America. Like
this, so for people who just tuned in, I was trying to get them to state their position, and this one guy who engaged with me, who I wish I would have got his contact. How cool would it have been to have him on the show and talk more? I didn't think of that. Jesse was like, you should have done that. I'm like, you're right. But I'm explaining my position to him.
Like, so if it's not America, we should get out of it. Like, not play world police. Like, America first. I think we should focus on America, solve our problems here. And, the rest of the world doesn't have anything to do with us, really. You seem like a really normal, reasonable guy. It's interesting to see you involved in this, like, leftist activism with not so normal folks, I would say.
I don't know, man. I see both sides.
Yeah.
We gotta stop the murder.
Yeah.
We also gotta fix our own shit, too.
that's my main concern, really. You know, like, because I don't know if you've seen, there's like a civil war in Haiti going on right now, and it's like we're not clamoring to get involved in this. It's like I wonder, like I am a Christian, but like I don't care enough about another state to like send them money. And if they have the most sophisticated border wall in the world, you know, how did they not detect that attack? Like what is going on over there? Why do we need to send them more weapons? Why do we need to keep fueling this war? You know, I'm against that personally. I don't think we should send money to Palestine, to Israel, anywhere really. You know, I mean, I appreciate you engaging with me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the deal? I'm around. Free Palestine. How would we free Palestine? Like, what's the solution?
I can take that from you. We're about to head out.
You guys have ideas about the solutions to free Palestine? We send them more money, or what do we? Any ideas? No ideas?
Any, but none for you.
None for me.
What the
just
hell
signs.
is up with that guy?
Adorable.
Hormone therapy. And then
Good to meet you too. What is your...
I think the ending of that video is interesting because that guy circles back to shake my hand, and they all look back like they think their strong man's gonna do something to me. And actually, you know, I earned his respect, and he's like,
based.
Did you did the woman that was wearing the covering did you get a conversate with her at all?
Just signs.
No, that was like that is uncut. That is the whole thing. Like I played.
That's where I'm confused because I feel like based on appearance, this is and just based on that covering, because typically that's only worn by Muslim women. Why would that? What is that called? Hijab, right?
Yeah, or burqa or whatever.
Or burqa, yeah. Why would she not be able to stay? You know, like that's where I get into. Like if this is literally your people, you know what I mean? If you are Muslim,
Seemingly.
that would be.
And, you know, they didn't all bring these scarves. Like that woman passed out the scarves. Her and her like weird trans boyfriend passed out all the signs. You know, like you can hear them at the end of the video, like, "Hey, we're about to get out of here. You can give us our sign back." So they did kind of facilitate this. They are the ones passionate about this issue, it seems.
Yeah, so this goes back to kind of what we talked about earlier. You have an opportunity to talk to people that don't agree with you and state your opinion. And like you did with that dude, you're like, I actually really appreciate you engaging with me.
She looks kind of Middle Eastern. I mean, like Slavic or something.
Yeah, so I mean, like that, I would assume that conversation would want to be had, but you know, some people are just intimidated very easily and don't handle confrontation well.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes it's not even necessarily that they don't have the answers or they don't have the information to talk to you about it. They just have no idea how to handle confrontation and
right.
And,
they're gonna need to,
you know,
they're gonna need to toughen up a little bit if a socialist revolution is what they're wanting.
Well, and if you look at like I was, this is a silly example, but I was watching Joe Rogan today, and whether you like the dude or not, they were talking.
I love
about,
that show.
They were talking about Cuba, and they were talking about socialism, and they were like, talk to any American that has immigrated from Cuba about socialism, see how much they love conservatives and Republicans, because they're like, what these people don't understand is when they're supporting Marxism and like trying to push these socialist and communist ideas and beliefs, they're like, we lived it. We had to deal with it every day, and we did everything that we could to get away from it. You know, if you have people like in swarms dying in the middle of the ocean trying to ride a makeshift raft to the United States because of how bad, you know, Cuba was and the socialism aspect of it, and how naturally one person who controls the divvying of the money, the disbursement of the money that everybody puts in, that person just has the money. And once that person rises and realizes, oh, I got all the money, I'm good, everybody else can eat it, then you see the real downfalls. In the early stages of it, it is really appealing. I understand why people gravitate towards it, because in the early stages of it, it's awesome. And it's honestly what we like from an ideological standpoint, it's kind of what we did pre 1913. It was trades of goods and services. It was helping your neighbor when they needed it. It was being like those ideals are what like it's built on, if you want to take it at a face value. But they don't look at the Communist Manifesto. They don't look at like these things that are what these ideas are, the deep, intricate portions of them, and they don't look at how they genuinely affect your mental health. They don't look at how they affect your physical health over a time span. Like those kinds of things only work in a group of like 200 people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
you're
want to go
lucky,
live on a commune,
you're still gonna get a cult leader.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is like the only time something like that will work is in a very, very small group of people.
In a vacuum, for sure.
In a vacuum, yeah, 100%. But it's the same thing with like libertarianism, whether you agree with it or not. In a very small group of people, the idea of fiscal responsibility and social liberty, like you do what you want to do, just don't mess with me, is very good. But it nears the ideology of anarchy, and that's why I struggle to call myself a libertarian anymore. But at a small level, it works. But if you try and put it at a country of 365 million people, it's not going to work at all.
Dude,
people are going to start killing people all the time.
What ruined libertarianism is the DNC shifting its party's platform so far to the left that if you agree with their social policies, you become a leftist. Like, so it made libertarianism not viable when the DNC was still like.
That's the hard thing, because that's assuming that the Libertarian Party is like, I agree with conservatives on fiscal stuff and I agree with liberals on social stuff. And that's why I think that the root of it gets kind of misrepresented, because it's not that I agree with Democrats on this and I agree with conservative views on this. It's that I just agree with more responsible fiscal earnings and a smaller overall government system. And in turn with that, and this is where a lot of, I think, Democrats don't understand a more right-winged side of things. I think you go too far right and you get into the same thing. You still want a big government that just controls more of the money stuff as opposed to, you know what I mean? Or more of the social stuff as opposed to the money stuff. But it's like, I just want people to be able to kind of do what they want to do. And if you're a grown man and you want to do what you want to do in your grown man life, as long as it doesn't affect me, my livelihood, and my children, I'm chilling.
But the libertarians I know, bro, like they will like advocate for like these drag queen story hours and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be conservatives. They'll believe all the same stuff that we believe, but they're like, yeah, the government shouldn't, you know, make it illegal for like strippers to be around kids, essentially.
Well, and that's where you get into the danger part, and that's why, like, I don't know if you guys have looked into sovereign citizenship very much.
Oh, well, dude, yeah.
Like, that's such a cool idea because.
Oh no, Alec, no.
Well, listen. I said idea. Listen to what I'm saying, because if you look at it, a lot of it's like, don't harm me, don't harm my family, and I don't do the same to you, and I'm good. You know what I mean? You don't have to follow civil code. You don't have to follow city municipal code. I can drive when I want to drive and not have to pay all these crazy fees and taxes on my... Like, these little things about it are really cool. But in a grander scale, just like libertarianism, just like socialism, just like all these things, does not work. It doesn't work on a grander scale. You're going to have... It's all way too close to anarchy.
Just like socialism.
Exactly. And so that's why when you get into kind of what I would say more conservative and not like the quote unquote alt-right kind of ideology, but just a conservative ideology of federal government small, state government small, people do what you want. You know what I mean? Like, let me run my business how I want to run my business. Don't force me to pay and put a flat tax, put a 9% flat tax. Don't give me an income tax and this and that and the blah, 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 blah. You know, if we're gonna have to have taxes, do it at a flat tax that makes sense. If, you know, we're paying 53%, I think, on average of what we make on taxes between income tax, property tax, sales tax. So, like, take all that stuff away and just let city government run city, let state government run state, let federal government run only constitutional issues. But it's expanded so far.
Yeah.
It's expanded so far. How do you get back to that? You know what I mean? Like, there has to be some sort of revolution, whether it's a violent physical revolution or not, I don't know, but there's going to be something like that at some point. And you look at the timeline of the rule
break. Like,
oh yeah, 100%, dude.
You can't sustain a society the way it's going right now under Joe Biden.
No, and it is I think it's a wild thing to think that you're going to get 360 million people or whatever the United States population count is. But it's wild to me that you think you're going to get hundreds of millions of people to agree on everything, which is why the government was set up the way it was originally, where you had local government and state government that ran those states, because you're more likely to get 1 million people to compromise than you are to get 100 million people to compromise. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. In different geographical parts of the country, like, you kind of like more than like racial segregation, like I could see us going to some kind of like political segregation of sorts, and
I think we're there almost,
Yeah. Well, kind of, because it's like the city officials, like even Springfield, okay, we're the belt buckle of the Bible Belt, but like even our governor and everything is just like a rhino, first of all, and like an 8 out of 9 of the city council people endorsed the Pride Parade, and like they like made some kind of statement about the LGBTQ community. So they're trying to do this thing that it's like part of the plan if you're going to be a metropolitan area and try to have like tourists come and they're like leaning into this stuff where it's like, can we not just be the Midwest? Like
we've always been.
Right. Can we?
Well, I mean, if you look at like the Satanists like rule and plan to usher in a one world government, the first thing is breaking down the nuclear family. Second thing is making homosexuality the alternate lifestyle. The third thing is taking God out of schools, which whether you agree with God being in public school or not doesn't matter.
Well, it's considering like wisdom begins with fear of the Lord, maybe he should.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if you're gonna argue the whole like separation of church and state, even though that was about having a state ran by the church or a church ran by the state government, like if you start getting into all that,
I can't do that. That's why that's part of the reason we started this country, is to get away from the Church of England.
Exactly. So I understand it, but like if you're gonna get into those realms, you have to be able to. I lost my train of thought.
Leighton, play your video. I've seen you have this video pulled up for like a long time, and
yo, Israel and Palestine, y'all need to stay in your lane. Fix my chopped cheese and my phone screen, you hood.
This warship got me hella tight.
I'm sorry. I gotta get rid of that, Leighton, because I'm not gonna be able to keep track of the conversation with that either. You're melting my brain. Hey, I want to remind everybody, we have some good viewership right now. We have 10 people hanging out with us. If you want a comment to pop up on the stream, you need to comment on our Facebook page, our official Facebook page, or on YouTube, and we can share your comments on the stream. We're not monitoring every platform's comment sections. There's only a couple that work right. So, so there's so many ideas that in theory seem to have merit and work for a society. But when like in large scale, it doesn't work. Like socialism, like libertarianism.
We're a massive country. We're a massive country. New York State would be what, the 18th biggest country in the UK. We're a massive country. That's too many people and too much landmass to try and control at a federal level like that. Like that's why the founding fathers set the government up in the way that they set it up.
Absolutely. And the Constitution talks about how part of democracy is compromise, and the reason that we're here now is because all of the compromise has been going one way. The conservatives have been like giving away ground to the leftists for a long time.
And I think you get into everybody thinks we're just a straight up democracy. And it's like, bro, we're a constitutional republic. That's what America is. We're not a democracy. We are not a democracy. And if we're going to sit here and talk about being a democratic republic or just a straight up democracy, you're wrong. That's not what our country is founded on. That's not what it is. It's what it's turning into, which is why it's getting as bad as it is. That's why you have state constitutions. That's why you have local constitutions. That's why you have federal constitutions.
I wonder, is this the natural end of social liberty? Like, is this how the American experiment fails? Is like we become so progressive that we don't know what men and women are anymore? And
well, that's a crazy concept. Like, you can say whatever you want about who you want to be. I don't care. You're an adult. I don't want you to talk to me about it. I don't want you to talk to my kids about it.
Right.
But gender is gender. Like, you've got chromosomes that are given to you by your parents.
Well, I think gender is just
like,
confusion. Like, sex is the thing that exists. Gender is the term that, like, psychologists came up with, like, not even a century ago.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is, even then, gender is gender. Like, if the two words are congruent with each other at their inception,
right.
So you can't you
They
can
are
you can,
synonymous.
and it would be like, and again, as a Christian, I'm not agreeing with this stuff, but it would be one thing if you were just like, it's men and women, and I like to cross dress. It's, you know what I mean. Cross dressing's throughout all of history. You can't
logically, it would track.
Exactly, but like I said, cross dressing's been throughout all of history. It was in ancient Greece. It was in Rome. Like, it's been throughout all of history. This whole, like, you saying gender dysphoria was in the Native American culture. It wasn't.
That
You know
was
what I
such
mean?
an
Like,
insane claim.
Oh,
Right.
you're talking to how the Native Americans did it. You're talking about how the Polynesians did it. You're talking about it's like, what are we doing, dude? What are we doing? If you want to be a dude who wants to wear a dress, whatever. I don't care. It's clothes. Who cares? You want to put some makeup on, whatever. Don't mess with my kids, and don't force me to agree with you. That's it.
That's where I'm at with it.
And here's the thing. As a barber, I have quite a few trans clients. None of them have an issue with me, and I don't have an issue with them because they don't expect it from me, and I don't expect it from them. They know my beliefs. I know their beliefs. We're good. I cut their hair and they leave. It's like, it's simple. As a human being, I care about you. I love you. I want you to be a good person. So as a human, I care about you. Whether we agree on our beliefs or not it's not up to me to make you believe what I believe.
Alec, we gotta let Leighton get in on this. I don't know. He told me to quit bringing this up on the podcast, but we talk about gay shit so often that I can't help it. Like, Leighton is gay, so I want to.
Awesome, dude.
What? It's not awesome. It's a sin, Leighton.
Well, what I'm saying is, I like, regardless of whether or not I agree with it, I love you, dude. Who cares? You know what I mean? You're a grown man. Do what you want to do. Whether you agree with me or not, it doesn't matter. I respect you as a person, and I love you and care about you and your soul. That's it.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not like a chuddy-wuddy, like, transphobe or anything. My only stance on it is that why does it have to involve kids? Why does every single argument that the trans activists are bringing up has to involve kids? It shouldn't. Kids shouldn't have to be thinking about, what about, HRT and shit like that. They should be, like, focusing on being kids.
It's
like,
one step closer to normalizing pedophilia, which is what the elite of the world have been trying to do for forever.
Yeah.
You saw it in Rome and in Greece when they started banging boys. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one step closer to it, and then once that stuff breaks loose, society will fully collapse.
Well, and Aleister Crowley and like occult literature talks about the spiritual power that is gained through sex magic with vulnerable victims. So they think that the most spiritual power you can get is from corrupting and molesting and raping a young boy for whatever reason, according to their literature. And, I think that this is one of those deep spiritual evils and one of those realities of the world that people don't like to think about or talk about. And it pairs right up with the abortion conversation, because that is our form of human sacrifice. That's part of the way that these evil people, they are drawing spiritual power. And in my opinion, I get that the semantics of some of this stuff people could really, really pick apart, but I believe that it's a spiritual battle that we're in, and the wickedness that that the devil has preserved throughout history to corrupt man in these secret societies that are mostly useful idiots being driven by these ideologies that have been preserved to deceive people are cultivating environments where there's more victims so they can draw more spiritual power.
this is going to be a really controversial thing that a lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying, but I really wish trans people would stop riding off the coattails of, like, gay activists and stuff like that. Like,
dude, any of my gay clients are like, they just leave us out of it. We were fine. Why are you lumping us
it's
on?
not even
in
the
with
same
you?
thing. It's a completely separate thing. Stop acting like you're part of like our history. You're not. You're a new thing that popped up out of nowhere, and people are all of a sudden doing it because it's a trend and it's cool and it's flashy. Like, no, like stop writing off of our coattails.
Let's
part of us.
Let's figure out. So let's see what the what Google. Could we go to an AI generator and have it generate a picture of Stonewall and see what the characters look like? Because
Yeah.
I bet money that it gives us a trans.
Well,
dude.
it's gonna. Well, yeah, because out of nowhere, trans people inserted the T and the Q into the LGB acronym. Like, I mean.
Well, it wasn't even like that like before trans, like nobody went, I'm part of the LGBT community. Like it was just like lesbians didn't like guys, gays didn't like girls. Like there wasn't a whole lot of unity there to begin with.
Oh, it just brought me like a photo. But yeah, see, there's nothing to do with trans people in this photo. Not a thing. Do you see any kind of transgender propaganda in this?
That second one from the right looks a little androgynous, but I doubt he is trans.
I mean, all gay guys at that time looked like really like androgynous kind of people, but
I don't know. That black guy looks fairly masculine, and the white guy next to him looks kind of like John Lennon or something.
Maybe it is.
He was pretty gay, so.
And what is it? And even in this photo, you don't even see like trans people either. It's like it's out of nowhere popped up in like activism with the LGB. Like I don't know where it came from. Like it just popped up out of nowhere.
Well, it's the funny thing about leftism too, where they're afraid of Christians, like we're some kind of Nazis. But then at the same time, they try to like co-opt Christianity and go, we're the real Christians. We're the real graceful, loving, forgiving ones. And their definition of love is accepting sin, whereas real Christians' definition of love is
rejecting it.
Yes, and willing the good of the other. And if you're telling somebody, oh, your sin is okay, you don't care if they go to hell or not. Is the reality.
That's why I don't love the phrase "love the sinner, hate the sin," because I think it gets mixed up as accept the sinner, hate the sin. It's like I can make you know that I don't agree with whatever you're doing with your life. That's what we're supposed to do in general. If I'm cheating on my wife, and my brothers and sisters in Christ better come up and talk to me about it. Better call me out on that. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. They can love me still, but you got to be able to call me on my BS, And I think that gets mixed up and can get muddy really quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, where because that's not scripture. That's like one of those things that
it's just a saying.
Yeah,
that people started saying, because Jesus did love the sinners, and that's where it came from. Jesus loved the sinners and he hated the sins, but he also made it very clear that these things are not okay, and I don't agree with them. And this is not the way to live your life. This is not how me and my Father designed the world.
Amen. Yeah, and no, like nobody would be here if it wasn't for God's design of a man and a woman in a family. It's like that is the reason for the season. We have to keep that up. That has to be normal for a society to exist. If it's not normal, you don't have a population.
Exactly.
I think that man, Alec, thank you for coming on this stream.
This is like a really good conversation.
I try to be. I mean, I talk for a living, essentially. I mean, I'm cutting your hair while I do it, but I talk for a living, bro.
Dude, you're good at it. Your rhetorical skills are impressive, bro. I've been trying to work on mine for the show and stuff.
Thanks, dude.
Alec, you gotta give me a wicked mullet if I ever go to your barbershop.
Yeah, pull up, bro. I got you.
Two, you gotta teach me to get rid of the tism voice.
It's all about your tone and inflection, brother.
Bro, we should do a live stream while we're getting our hair cut or something. That would be
a fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, we definitely have to do it after hours for sure.
I mean, our logo has the barbershop colors on it.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It also has the American colors on it.
America! Wait, no! Wait, no!
He said, let me switch back to Israel real quick.
Wait, do the other one. Yeah. Free speech. Let's go. Late night freedom stream every Wednesday and Saturday. Alec, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem, brother.
Everybody like and comment, and we'll see you around. Have a good week.
Let me play us out.
Play us out, brother.